morning, kids. How are you guys doing today? My name is Miss Mary. We are going to have such a great time today, starting this new series called Help. But first, go ahead and stand up. I just can't help but worship my God. Let's go.
Through you, I can do anything. I can do all things, 'cause it's you who gives me strength. Nothing is impossible through you. Blind eyes are open, strongholds are broken. I am living by faith. Shout it out! Nothing is impossible. Come on, let's dance. I'm not gonna live by what I see. I'm not gonna live by what I feel. Come on, sing it. Deep down, I know that you're here with me. I know that you can do anything. Through you, I can do anything. I can do all things, 'cause it's you who gives me strength. Nothing is impossible through you. Blind eyes are open, strongholds are broken. I am living by faith. Nothing is impossible. I'm not gonna live by what I see. I'm not gonna live by what I feel. Deep down, I know that you're here with me. I know that you can do anything. Through you, I can do anything. I can do all things, 'cause it's you who gives me strength. Nothing is impossible through you. Blind eyes are open, strongholds are broken. I am living by faith. Nothing is impossible. Sing. I believe, I believe. I believe, I believe in you. I believe, I believe. I believe, I believe in you. I believe, I believe. I believe, I believe in you. I believe, I believe. Hey. I believe, I believe in you. I can do anything. I can do all things, 'cause it's you who gives me strength. Nothing is impossible through you. Blind eyes are open, strongholds are broken. I am living by faith. Nothing is impossible. I believe, I believe. I believe, I believe in you. I believe, I believe. I believe, I believe in you.
What's up with you? Shout it out, why don't you? Let everyone know. I'm doing pretty good today. It's sunny where I am, and I'm alive, so yep, it's a good day. Oh look, we have a comment coming in already. This is a comment from Mary. Hey Callie, my name is Mary from Southern California. Oh, that sounds really nice. Have you ever felt helpless? Let me think. There was a time when my little brother was really sick and he had to go to the hospital, and he was there for a whole week. Mary, that was the longest week of my life because he was so tiny. He did get better and came home and now bothers me all the time. But yep, Speaking of that, did I ever tell you that my mom is a doctor? She helps kids. So that makes her a surgeon? No, that's not it. She's an No, that can't be it either. Let me just call her. Hey, Mom. What are you doing?
Hey, baby. Are you filming your vlog?
Yeah, Mom. Mom, so what type of doctor are you again?
Ellie, I am a pediatrician.
Right. That's it. Is that a hard job, Mom?
I went to school for it, so I had years and years of practice, so I know what I'm doing.
So what's the hardest part?
That's a great question. I think the hardest part about being a pediatrician sometimes is seeing a child for the first time in so much pain. And then, of course, trying to comfort the parents because sometimes they feel kind of helpless.
Wow.
Speaking of helpless, this reminds me of a story in the Bible of some people that felt the same exact way.
It's time for our Bible story. A long time ago, the people of Israel had been forced to become slaves in Egypt and were being treated very badly. They had to work day and night, and do whatever Pharaoh wanted them to do.
That's a ruler, right?
Exactly. The ruler of Egypt loved telling God's people what to do all the time, but he noticed that there were a lot of Israelites, like a whole lot.
So what did he do?
He came up with a plan to get rid of all the baby boys. God's people needed help now more than ever. The parents became sad and helpless because they didn't know what to do. During this time, though, a mom gave birth to a tiny baby boy. She loved this baby so much and didn't want Pharaoh to get rid of him. So the mother hid the baby for 3 long months. She then did the only thing she thought might work. She put her baby in a basket and placed him in the water like a boat. She placed the boat with her baby into the water and prayed to God for someone to find it. And guess what?
The baby was saved?
You got it! The daughter of Pharaoh saw the basket floating and saved it. How amazing is that?
Oh, wow.
She named the baby Moses, and now the baby would live in the house of Pharaoh.
In the story, we can see when we feel helpless, guess what?
God helps us.
Exactly. So, honey, listen, I have to get back to work, but I'll be home soon in a few hours.
Okay, Mom. Thank you for helping me with this video.
I love helping you, and I hope I was cool and I had some drop.
Drop, Mom? If you're talking about swag, I think you meant drip, Mom.
Now look at that. Now you're helping me out. Bye, honey.
Bye, Mom. That story made me feel so confident. Just to know that if I ever need help, I can pray and God will help me because God helps us when we're helpless. My friends, it's time for me to get out of here. Peace out, friends. Catch you next time.
Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. There's a city that calls me by name. There's a city that calls me by name. Yes, as I run this race, I am cheered by the saints. There's a city that calls me by name. There's a future that runs through my veins. There's a future that runs through my veins. And there's nothing on earth that could stand in the way. There's a future that runs through my veins. Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid, this my hope, come what may. Where I go with you. Where I go with you. There's a spirit I cannot contain. There's a spirit I cannot contain. The same power that raised Jesus up from the same spirit I cannot contain. Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid, this my hope, come what may. Where I go with you. Where I go with you. Yeah. I go with you. Breath upon these bones, your fire in my soul. Your kingdom is my home, and I don't walk alone. Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid, this my hope, come what may. Where I go with you. Oh, everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid, this my hope, come what may. Where I go with you. Where I go with you. Yeah, I go with you. Everywhere I go with you. Everywhere I go with you. Where I go with you.
Hey kids, my name's Miss Nancy and this is a whole new month. We're going to be talking about some new things this month. But before we do that, let's play this little game, okay? Play with me. It's called Who Needs a Hand? Sometimes we just need help. Stop and think. Have you ever needed the help of a policeman? If you have, put your hand on your head. I have. Well, have you ever needed the help of a doctor? If you have, put your hand on your ear. I have. Have you ever needed the help of a fire department? Put both hands on your nose. Oh my goodness. Have you ever needed the help from God? If so, raise both your hands. Yeah, a lot of times we need help from God, don't we? How do you ask for help from God? What do you do when you're asking for help? We call that prayer, don't we? Well, what is prayer, really? Are you always asking for help from God? Sometimes, yes. Sometimes we're just talking to God. Sometimes we're telling Him, thank you for what He has given us. Sometimes we're telling Him how much we love Him and we're praising Him together with us and Him. But it's a talking, it's a communication because we have a relationship with our God. And that is so very special because He loves us. He wants the best for us. Remember, He wants us to be in His family. So when we are talking to God, we call that prayer. And when we are praying, we are very often asking for help. What kind of things help might you be asking for? You might need Him to guide you to do something. You're not sure what to do. Maybe you actually need something, some material, something. And He may be going to provide that. And you're asking Him for that. Sometimes you're asking Him to help somebody else. That's a very common thing that we talk to God about. And sometimes we just need for Him to work things out for us because we want things to go a certain way or we're hoping things will go a certain way. But we're talking to God about what does He think? Is that the way it should go? So when we are praying, it's a very important thing to be talking with God and tell Him all about what's in your heart and what you're feeling and what you're thinking about and what's got you worried and who you're concerned about. Sometimes when we are going through a time that we are really wanting to talk to God and let Him know how we're doing, we also do what we call fasting. And when we do fasting, we will not eat something or not drink something or not do something that we usually do. A lot of times with grown-ups, what they'll do is they'll miss a meal, or maybe they will have certain foods they don't eat, or maybe certain things they don't drink that they usually drink for a certain amount of period. And I think our church is going to be doing some fasting and prayer. And that's going to be important because God likes for us to pay attention to Him and really let Him know that we're serious about what we're talking to Him about. And fasting can help you do that. So, I'm not sure what that means. Oh, okay. So what we're going to do now is talk about the help that God gave to the Israelite people through Moses. Now, you've probably heard about Moses before, but I want to tell you the story because it is such a cool story. So it turns out that the Israeli people went to live in Egypt, and they were having bigger and bigger families, and there were more and more of them. And next thing you know, there were so many of them that the king of Egypt, called Pharaoh, he was getting kind of worried. There were so many Israeli people that they might just join with the enemies and overthrow the Egyptians one day. So he decided, I'm going to take care of these people. And he made them slaves. That meant they had to do everything the Egyptian people told them to do, whether they wanted to do it or not. And they were treated terribly. They were treated mean. They were beaten and whipped if they didn't work really hard, and they had to work all the time. And it was just a very terrible time. In order to kind of keep the population of Israeli people from being more and more and more, the Pharaoh told the midwives. Now, who are midwives? Midwives are ladies that help other ladies have their babies. So the Pharaoh told the midwives of the Israeli people, I want you to kill all the boys. All the boy babies that are born, I want you to kill every single one of them. Well, they couldn't tell the Pharaoh no, but they also couldn't do that because they knew that God would be against that. So, when they didn't do it, and Pharaoh said, why didn't you do that? I told you, kill all the boy babies. They said, oh, the women are having the babies faster than we could get to their houses and help them. And the Pharaoh believed them. But there were more and more babies being born. And so Pharaoh said, okay, that's it. All the boy babies have to be thrown in the river. Now, why was he only choosing the boy babies? Because they were the ones who one day could fight against Egypt if they chose to do that. And so he didn't want to have more boys. Throw them in the river. They will drown. They will die. Well, there was one lady who had a little boy, and she didn't want to do that. She hid her baby, and she held that baby close for 3 months. And then she realized, you know what? She just couldn't keep this baby safe by herself any longer. So she formulated a plan. And I believe God helped her with this plan. Here's how the plan went. She made a basket that was big enough to put the baby in. Now, this wouldn't be big enough, but it was much bigger than this. Now, do you see all the holes in this? If you were to put this in the water, it would sink, wouldn't it? But she took asphalt and pitch and covered the outside of it so that all the holes were covered up. And now this basket would float, just like a boat. And she put her little baby in it and had a little cover over the top. And she put it in the reeds in the river. Now, what are reeds? Reeds are the grass, the tall grass in the river. And she had an older daughter named Miriam, and she stationed Miriam so she could watch that basket and make sure that basket was safe and wouldn't accidentally float down the river. When the Pharaoh's daughter came at that point out into the river, she was coming out into the river to take a bath, and she saw this basket. And she told the slave girls with her, "Go get that basket and bring it to me." And when she opened up the lid, there was a little baby in it. Well, now she knew that it was a little Israeli baby, but she decided she wanted that baby for her own. Well, Miriam, the big sister, was peeking and watching, and she went running up to the Pharaoh's daughter and she said, "You know what? I know a lady who can take care of that baby and feed that baby for you until he's old enough for you to keep if you want him as your son." And she said, "That's a great idea." Well, you know, that was Moses' mama, right? And so they took the baby, and Moses' mama took care of that baby until he was old enough to go and live with the Pharaoh's daughter. And she raised him up just as if he were her very own son. And she called him Moses. She named him because that means I drew him out of the water. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think that all of that was worked out by Moses' mama by herself? You're right. No, that was God helping her, helping Moses, and helping the Israeli people, because God had a plan for Moses' life. He was going to be a leader for all of the Israeli people. God will help you too if you ask Him. It may not be something fantastic as putting a baby in the water, but God is there to help you. All you have to do is ask, and that's what prayer is all about. Talk to God and tell Him, what are you concerned about? What's going on in your life, and how do you need His help? He may help you in exactly the way you think, or He may have a different plan how He's going to help you. But He will help you because He loves you more than anything in the whole world. Hey, I wonder what Carl and TJ think about that. Let's check in with them.
Hey there, little chicken nuggets. It's me, Carl. Welcome to Grow TV.
Welcome to Grow TV. Hosted by Carl, where we have fun with our friends, talk about Jesus, and go over everything the Bible has to offer. Now, once again, welcome to Grow TV.
Well, hey there, everyone. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Today I'm feeling pretty down. A lack of motivation. I don't feel like doing anything. It's the worst. I guess we'll do some crafts or something, like make a paper airplane. So, let's get to it. All right. Ta-da! The perfect airplane. Who am I kidding? It's horrible. Looks like I'm getting a call. Hello?
Carl, what's going on, my man?
Not great, TJ.
Oh no, man, what's wrong?
I don't know. I'm just dragging. Feeling really unmotivated. Like an elephant sitting on my head. and then a boulder bouncing on the elephant's head, making it impossible for me to move.
Wow, man, that sounds pretty rough, Carl.
Tell me about it. I haven't felt this bad since my peanut butter and jelly sandwich fell into the sand at the beach.
Well, I'm sorry, Carl. Is it safe to say you're feeling pretty helpless?
TJ, if I could use 3 words to describe how I'm feeling right now, it would be these: helpless, defeated, distraught. Sadness, melancholy, impotent, weak, and vulnerable. Also gassy.
You know, Carl, there's a story that I think will lift your spirits.
Well, TJ, unless you have a box of jelly-filled donuts, I don't think anything can make me feel better.
Well, let's see. You've heard of Moses, right?
Of course.
Well, when Moses was a baby, Pharaoh, the leader of Egypt, realized that there were too many Israelites. So he came up with a horrible plan.
No.
Yeah. He decided that every Israelite boy will be thrown into the river.
That's awful.
It was, man. Moses' mother got to a place where she couldn't hide him anymore. So she got a basket, made it to where it wouldn't sink, and she put Moses in the basket and put it in a river.
So baby Moses was safe?
For now. But Moses' sister watched him float for a bit just to see what would happen.
And what happened?
Well, a princess of Egypt came to the river to take a bath and saw the baby. She asked for a servant to get the baby, and when she did, Moses' sister came out to ask the princess if she would need help raising the baby.
Well, what did the princess say?
She said yes. So she gave the baby back to the sister to give to the mother in order to take care of the baby. And get this, she even paid the mother to take care of him.
That's crazy. She saved Moses' life.
Yes, she did. But someone else helped baby Moses even more.
Well, who?
God.
God?
Moses was supposed to be thrown into the river, but God had a plan for Moses. And God knew that Moses, being a baby, was pretty helpless floating down the river.
Well, he sure was. And God helped him by sending others, pulling him out by the river and making sure he was taken care of.
You're absolutely right, Carl. And today you woke up feeling tired and pretty defeated, right?
Like a turtle on its back.
Exactly. But just like God helped Moses, God will help you. God helps us when we're helpless.
DJ, you're the best. Not only did you help me get out of this funk I was in, you just said our big idea. Big idea time! Today's big idea is God helps us when we're helpless.
So on the count of 3, we'll say it out loud together. You ready, Carl?
Ready? 1,
2,
3! God helps us when we're helpless! Yes, yes, yes. Good job, everyone.
So Carl, how are you feeling now?
You know what? I'm feeling a lot better.
That's great, man. Hey, what you got there?
Oh, it's my PB&J I was telling you about earlier.
Wait, is that the one with the sand in it?
The one with the what? Oh, I forgot.
All right, man. Kids, have a good week. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for watching, and tune in next week for a new episode of Pro TV.
Hey guys, welcome back to Creative Corner with Miss Sierra and
Layla.
and
Maya.
all right, today we are going to talk about a time that you felt hopeless. We've all had a time when we feel out of control of our circumstances, and it may leave us feeling pretty hopeless. Maybe you got sick, or maybe the power went out and you had to find your way in the dark, or maybe you broke or lost something that was really valuable. I'll tell you about a time I felt pretty hopeless. I was 16 years old, just about to get my driver's license. I was so excited. I passed the driver's part of the test, but the signs part, I failed. Not once, not twice. 3 times, guys. I was pretty hopeless. But finally, I got it. Phew! We're going to make some paper baskets today. First, you're gonna grab your basket template. You're gonna color it and decorate it. If you're at home, just grab a piece of paper and draw out this shape, kind of like a cross, and then another shape on the side that looks kind of like a rectangle. After you've colored and decorated it, you're going to cut it out so that it looks like this. You're going to fold on these dark solid lines right here so that it kind of looks like wings, like that. And then you're gonna put the sides together like a cup or a bowl, and you're gonna tape them together. So Maya and Layla, if you guys will work on that as I continue on. Think of something that might make you feel helpless. Maybe it's schoolwork, or maybe it's learning a new skill, or maybe it's when you have a disagreement with someone. I want you to think about some of those things, and I want you to grab some sticky notes or small pieces of paper and write them down. When Miriam placed Moses in a basket, she probably felt a lot like you do when you feel hopeless. She felt hopeless and helpless, but she trusted God and she was able to find hope again. Now, put your sticky notes into your basket, which should look a little like this when you're finished, and put it somewhere where you will remember that you might feel helpless in your situations, but God is always ready to help you. Do you remember what the big idea is?
God helps us when we are helpless.
That's right. God helps us when we are helpless. All right, guys, that's all for today. Remember, you are a beautiful creation of God.
Hey friends, I have some questions. Can you help me answer them? Sure, I will. Thank you. Who helps you when you are hurt and need to go to the hospital?
An ambulance.
Good job. Who helps you when you need wisdom? Parents. Good job. Who helps you when you are helpless?
God. God helps us when we are helpless.
Good job, Grayson. You just said our big idea. Repeat after me. God helps us.
God helps us
when we are helpless.
when we are helpless.
Bye, friends.
See you next week. Right here.
Hello friends, my name is Kim and this is Kenya.
Hi, friends.
We've got our Bibles because it's time for our memory verse. All right, so this month we have a new verse and it's in Psalm 121 verse 2. Let's say it together. My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. All right, great job. Now we have a video for you to watch to help us to remember our verse.
I lift my eyes up to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Psalm 121, 1 through 2. I lift my eyes up to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Psalm chapter 121, verses 1 and 2. I lift my eyes up to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Psalm chapter 121, verses 1 and 2. We'll sing it again. Ready? I lift my eyes up to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Psalm chapter 121, verses 1 and 2. Now it's your turn. Ready, set, sing. I lift. Where does my help? Psalm chapter, verses.
Great job, friends. I hope you enjoyed that video. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Hey guys, what a great morning. Thank you so much for praying for your friends today. I think it's awesome to know that you have friends that are praying for you and talk to God about you. It's so important for us to remember that God does help us when we are helpless. Let's pray together. Dear God, thank you for always being with each of us. Remind us when we are feeling helpless that you will always help us. Help us to remember we can always count on you in times of need. Amen. Thank Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I love seeing all of you here, and don't forget, stick around for Kids News.
Hey guys, this is Kids News. I'm Lydia and this is Whitney. If you guys were wondering, we are still meeting up in person, but if you're not ready to go, that's fine. We'll still be here.
Hey Lydia, aren't you excited about school becoming back in session?
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun.
We want all of you to know that we will pray for you to have an amazing school year.
We have so much fun shooting Virtual Kids Church. If you guys want to be part of the good times, just let us know.
I think it's so cool that we have our very own Reimage Kids YouTube channel.
That's awesome.
You guys should subscribe, just like we did, and don't forget to share it with your friends.
My favorite part of Kids Church is Creative Corner. Next week, you guys will need red, orange, yellow, blue, and green construction paper. If you guys don't have that, that's fine. You can just use white paper with colored crayons. And also, you will need tissue paper and glue.
We believe that it is so important that we thank God for all that He has helped us, but we also need to ask Him for help first. So if you have any prayer requests, just leave them in the comments below.
Whitney, we can't forget to tell them about all the important events coming up. Everybody, get your calendars out.
First, on September 12th, our prayer and fasting starts with our church family. On September 15th, we have a worship night. This is for all of your family to enjoy. Everybody can come. On September 18th, we have a pop-up VBS on 3rd Street. Sign up if you want to help with that.
Don't forget, all of our help comes from God. We are out until next week. Bye!